to do a little bit of a different video today. I'm not going to do the typical sit down and kind of care video, and I know it can get boring after a while, and I want to keep everything exciting and nice for you guys. So for today's video, I'm just going to take you guys basically along my daily journey and what it takes to care for multiple reptiles. The routine that you guys see is something I do every single day. So whether snakes are eating, which they don't eat every day, but whether snakes are eating, lizards are eating, or water needs change, just basic touch-up maintenance that I do on a daily. So I'll take you guys along with me so you can see how that goes. So let's go. Alright, so for the first part of the video, we're going to start down here at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's see if I can readjust my camera. There we go. We're going to start at the bottom down in Hera's cage. As you can see, her cage usually isn't too bad. However, like I said, I like to check my reptiles daily. She made a mess of her food bowl, so we're going to clean that up, get her some new food. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So I got Hera's enclosure finished. So I gave her some fresh water, gave her some greens. The reason she doesn't have a lot of greens is simply because I'll give her greens when I get home, and then a little bit later I'll give her some worms. There's days when she eats mostly greens, but today's one of those days where she gets both. So I like to give her greens first just to make sure she eats them, and then I'll give her a few bugs here and there. So that is Hera. So next we have Miss Frankie. Basically her enclosure usually kind of stays pretty decent. I kind of just go through and spot clean, pick up all her poop and anything like that. So what we're going to do for her is basically we just need to pick up the old leftover greens, give her some fresh water, give her some food, and spray down the enclosure. There she is right there. And that will be it for her. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. Frankie. She got a nice spray down. She got some fresh water, fresh food, and as you can see, she went back into hiding. But generally, she'll kind of hang out there for a minute and then come out on her own to eat her food. So we'll just let her be. And next, we have Mr. Kato up here. Kato is due for a bath today. So we're going to go ahead and get him some water in a nice tub and let him sit and soak, and then I can go ahead and get his enclosure nice and clean because he likes to sit in his water. As you can see, there's a bunch of reptile chip in the water and stuff like that. So we can go ahead and get Mr. Kato out, and yeah, we'll get him together. Alright, so we got Kato in the tub now, taking his bath. So while he's doing that, we are going to straighten up his enclosure, get his enclosure back to how it's supposed to be. So let's go. Kato's enclosure is clean. He's got fresh water. He's got his hide back in there, and I kind of smoothed over his substrate. Then I added this log. I know blood pythons are pretty much terrestrial, but I think it kind of gives it a nice little look as far as aesthetics. So I'll go ahead and slide Kato back in his enclosure, and there he is. So next we have Sahara, my leopard gecko. And I know some of you are probably thinking like her cage is boring as crap, which I completely agree. This is kind of just like the stuff that came with her, and I really don't know what else to do to her enclosure. So if you have any ideas or any suggestions, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. I am more than open to ideas. So basically what she has is just her humid hide, a normal hide, kind of like a log she likes to climb out on and bask to at night, and her water bowl. So for her, it's pretty simple. I just kind of pick up whatever she pulls out. I'll re-wet her humidity box and spray her down and give her fresh water as well. So we can jump right to her in the bath. Ended up pulling her enclosure down because it's just way easier to clean. She's on the very top right of the new shelf I just put up. So when I pulled her out, that way I can pull everything out and clean off her rug completely. That way she gets a full cleaning. So we will go ahead and do that. So got Sahara's enclosure clean, and she's back in there, fresh water. I kind of switched sides on everything, but yeah, that's all right. So next we have Houdini. As you can see, her cage gets quite messy, hence the cement tub holding her cage. I don't know how or whatever reason, but there's a lot of dirt that comes out of it. So I just decided to the cement tub is actually Frankie's old enclosure. So I just decided to put her cage inside of it, and it seems to help. So we are going to work on Houdini's cage and try not to piss her off too much because she does not like me or anybody for that matter. So. See, that's pretty much it for Houdini. Got her some fresh water, well, her dripper refilled. That bowl that I took out of usually where I put her mealworms, I gave her like 30 crickets a couple of days ago, and they decided to all jump in it at one time, so they all died. But there you can see Houdini getting a little drink of water right there. Pretty easy, only because I know for a fact I cleaned all their tubs last night. But you know, with reptiles, you can never be too surprised. So these are all of my smaller snakes. Medusa, Mbaku, Bane, and Venus are all in this rack. So what I'm going to do for them is actually just kind of check on them, obviously, and kind of spot check, look for any poops or anything like that. I know they should all have water because, again, I just did this last night. So we'll go ahead and just check all of them. So here, bear with me, I'm doing this part with one hand. This is Medusa. Sorry, lighting's not too great over here. So she's just kind of hanging out, chilling. So we'll give her just a small mist. Okay, lock her tub back, and then we move on to Mr. Mbaku. And he, the same, just kind of hanging out in his tub. So as you can see, Mbaku's tub's looking just like Medusa's. These guys kind of, after feeding day, which is usually on Fridays, they kind of are sluggish in the beginning of the week. So this is when I like to go through and kind of make sure everything is where it needs to be. So I'll give him, I don't spray him as much as the others, obviously, because ball pythons don't like as high of a humidity. but I do like to spray it a couple times a week, whereas Medusa gets sprayed every single day. Then we got Bane in here, and you can see him. He's just chilling. In his enclosure, it's the same. He's on Aspen. Give him a little spray down. Last but not least, Venus. She's kind of hanging out right there. So I can see his dried out a little bit from last night. So we'll give him quite the mist just to get him nice and humid in here. Keep that humidity up. Folks, that is it. I didn't hit everybody. I didn't hit Cuber's cage up there because I did him last night and I checked him earlier, so I just left him out of the video. But his enclosure is good, I promise. But everyone else you got to see. So there it is. Alright everybody, so that's everybody other than Cuber, like I said. So I tried to make the routine as simple as possible, but it's not always that simple. So I did the best I could. It's kind of hard to do everything with one hand, a camera, picking up everybody. But that's kind of the gist of the daily process that I do here, just to make sure all my animals stay healthy and we don't have any issues. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to ask questions. Drop a comment, like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell as well. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at DW Exotics.